Hey YouTube, Sergeant Savinelli. So I decided to do a little series and share with all of you some of the Italian dishes that I was born and raised on. These are traditional Italian meals that you can whip up pretty quickly. They don't take a lot of time. And I'm going to give you one at a time, instead of trying to overload your brain with too many things at once. So for the first in this series, I decided to share with you a really simple recipe for what we like to call greens and beans. Growing up, it was always called scarole and beans, which was basically escarole and beans. Some made it in a soup. Some made it a little differently. What we evolved into greens and beans today is what I'm going to share with you. So, without further ado, grab your pencils and your crayons and something to write on, and here we go. Very simple, very down-to-earth, very basic peasant food is what it is. And very healthy, very good for you. So what you're going to need for this recipe is relatively simple. And there's options. It's not set in stone what you use. It goes based on your taste. You're going to need some type of a leafy green lettuce type vegetable, whether it be escarole or kale if you like kale, or romaine lettuce. That works real well. Iceberg lettuce is not an option here in this mess because there's no, it just doesn't settle the same at the end. Most popular in my house is romaine lettuce. We use romaine to make this dish quite often, and sometimes kale. But the kale recipe I'll give you later on at in another video, because that's a little bit different. So greens and beans today, we're going to use, for the sake of simplicity, romaine, but you can use whatever you want, whether it be escarole or red leaf or something that's got a consistency to it. So you're going to use romaine lettuce. You're going to need some fresh garlic. You're going to need some extra virgin olive oil. And you're going to need some white cannellini beans. I use them in the can. They're simple. They're easy that way. If you've got the time and you want to use them dry and boil them up and cook them traditionally that way, that's fine too. No problem. Pressed for time, we generally just use them, regular white cannellini beans in a can. So what I do is I start by dicing up the garlic real fine. All right, chop it up. You're going to need a saucepan, which is actually what you want to use is something big enough, something that you would like cook spaghetti in, all right? Big pasta pan, that type of thing, because you're going to need the space. Romaine starts off really big, but then it cooks down to nothing. You're going to see when you go to make this. Now, how much you make is also going to depend upon how many people you're cooking for. If you're making it just for yourself, 2 heads of romaine lettuce and a can of cannellini beans will give you a good meal. If you're going to make it for a lot of people, where you're going to make a big bowl of it and serve it family style, then you're going to have to adjust your recipe accordingly. So, chop up your garlic real fine. Put it in the big pan, drizzle some olive oil down in the bottom there with the garlic, and then take your romaine lettuce and chop it up into, pieces about that big. Don't put it in there whole. You're going to chop it up. Not too small. You still want to have pieces that you can actually pick up with a fork when you're done. Turn your heat up high. Get that oil nice and hot. Get that garlic just starting to cook. You don't want it black. Not yet, anyway. Throw your romaine in on top, and what you're going to do is you're going to wilt that romaine down to the consistency that you like. There's no set times to cook it. There's no right way to cook it. You're just going to let it wilt down right there in the pot. Now, romaine is mostly water, like most salad. So as it starts to heat up and wilt, you're going to get some juice flowing down in the bottom that's going to mix with the olive oil and the garlic. Wilt it down to a consistency that you like. Some people like it, still a little crunchy. Some people like it like spinach, soft and mushy. Your choice. Once you get the romaine down to the consistency that you like, then you're going to take the cannellini beans and you're going to dump them in there and mix everything up and get everything nice and hot. Once everything's hot, because you're not actually cooking the beans, beans are already cooked in the can. Once you get everything nice and hot, that part's done. So now you're ready to eat. You're going to want to get yourself some nice, sharp table cheese. Cut a couple of pieces of that. Some nice Italian olives, your choice whether they're green or black or brown or whatever the seasoning is that you particularly like, if you like olives. Some people don't. I do. I happen to love olives, all different kinds. You're going to get yourself a loaf of Italian bread and a nice glass of wine. And you're going to have a meal that if you put it on your forehead right here, your tongue would knock your brains out to get to it. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. It's a staple here in Sarge's house, and it has been for many, many years. It's a tradition, and we eat it quite a bit because it's that good for you, all right? I'd be curious to see what your tastes say and what you think of the recipe. It's easy to make. It takes about 10, 15 minutes, start to finish, and you're eating. So give it a shot, and I'd like to hear from you on it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one at some point. Bye.